good note. Um, we both ended things saying that we loved each other, and that was cool because I figure, hey, he had nothing to gain by saying that because he was the one who was leaving. So, as y'all can see from the video, he came and got his stuff yesterday, and I do have to say that a sense of peace has been on me since. Um, that's just how I feel. You know, when you put your all into something and you know you've put your all into it, you got to let it rest right there. Okay. There was nothing else I can do. You know, it was hard for me to sit back and let that man lead. It was hard for me to do that. And I put it out there, you know. But it's just that I tried. I did the best I could. And I just feel like I was good. And y'all know I let him come stay with me and my cat. And yeah, you know, when it was his turn to return the favor and allow me and my cat to stay with him, that's when he really just got to tripping. And sometimes people get like that, you know, when they be the ones that's paying the money, sometimes people just get that way. You know, they want to control things, and that's exactly what happened. His ego started getting big. He started trying to tell me who to talk to and stuff like that. Hey, Eating with Maria. Hashtag in the hood. I like that name, girl. But yeah, you know, that man had went from being very protective of me when he was living with me to being very possessive and controlling. And I had already I put that out there, y'all, because it's the truth. He didn't treat me the same way I treated him, okay? It was not the same. First off, you know, he was able to see me, you know, and I mentioned this before because to me that was just so important, a very important factor. But he was able to see me, you know, had electricity. But hard as it was for me to let my guard down, when I let it down and start being a little bit passive, which was very difficult for me to do, and I talked about it because it's the truth. Um, when I let my guard down, I got very disappointed. Very, very, very disappointed because he did not lead me, you know, the way I led him. Okay? He fell very, very short on that. And all I realized is that I was getting led astray, led into uncertainty, led into darkness. Hey, what's up, Nelly Nail? Led into darkness, you know. I wasn't going to stay led into the deception of lies. You know, listen, you don't know how to lead me, man. I got to lead myself. And that's what I did. And you know, I just feel so strong about saying this, though. Y'all, listen, he tried to play me, okay? I'm the one that found that place, the place that I have now. And the reason why I was so confident making videos saying my crib and stuff, let me tell y'all why now. Nelly, you did tell me that. I told you he was paying for things that he has some type of control and power, and that is where he clearly fucked up. I am not the type of woman who's made that way. You're gonna have to get behind me with that type shit, you know, controlling, all that type stuff. Yeah. You know, he just because he dropped that money, the first month's rent and security. Hey, the landlord gave when he moved his last items out yesterday. The landlord called me and told me to come down and bring his set of keys, and I did. And when I did that, the landlord refunded him his money. So he was for his BMW truck. He was storing that where I store Galestone. Hooked him up on that. What did he do? Just go and take it out. Now he don't have that storage, you know, for his vehicle. Even though he only got access to one vehicle now because that Mercedes is in the shop. See, when you start doing fucked up shit to people, you're not gonna have good luck. So before we even found the place that I have now, let me be clear. Before I found it, okay, that Mercedes started to get on the brinks and had to go to the shop that same day, that Saturday. Saying is, I kept telling them, honey, karma is a bitch. I was only good to you I stayed in that attic apartment for 3 months. The first month by myself, me and Kitty. Then here he come. 2 months in, ain't paid no rent. But right away, y'all, because he dropped this little 16 something, he thought he was like, you could just give me the first month's rent. Security, just give me 500 and the rest. That man didn't know who he was talking to. Okay. Then I played him. Okay. Because I went to my YouTube studio, screenshot my income, and sent it to the landlord. And I was like, listen, I make double the rent. I can pay it by myself. I don't need him. And the landlord was like, hey, well, I knew you first. Because I told y'all I was going to rent a room from the landlord. This was months and months ago. So he remembered me naturally. And he was like, you got first dibs. Dude can take his name. Well, he said he would take his name off, refund his money, and he can leave. And that's exactly how it went down. That's why I was so confidently making those videos saying, that's my place, y'all. My crib. That's why I was saying that, because I talked to the landlord and set it up that way. I let the landlord know that 2 names is on that lease, and he knows this already. Nobody else's. I let him know that he planned on moving his daughter up in there, and that I was not for that. Okay? Period. Oh, you gonna move your daughter out? But then he started saying things like, I said, so what about my cat? Oh, I don't know what you're gonna do with your cat. I don't know, so short and so dismissive. Like, I just,